Now inside of the mod folder, we're going to create a new file called upload.php. And inside of this file, we're going to start with the opening PHP tag. And then we require once our config file. Require once, and we go for /inc/config.php. And now try and catch exception SE. And our exception will be echo JSON and code array error equals true and message equals get message, which is basically exception method. Okay, so that's when we obviously catch any exception. So inside of the try statement, we're going to start with the object valid equals new validation class. Then we go for allowed extensions equals array, and we want to allow jpg, jpeg, then gif, png, pdf, let's say doc, and docx, which is also a Word document. If underscore files, that means obviously there was a form with the upload submitted. Then we check if files ssd upload file, and then we're looking for the error index. If it equals 0, then we go for the extension equals helper get extension, and it's going to be files ssd upload file, and we're looking for the name of this file. And now we check we're going to basically validate the extension. Let me just close the browser and scroll up a little bit. So now we check if isn't in array extension in our allowed extensions array, then obviously we know that this extension isn't allowed. So we throw new exception saying basically object valid, and we get the message from the validation property by its index file extension. As you may remember, inside of the validation class, we have validation property, which has all these indexes and their associated messages. So basically, we are throwing this exception with this specific message. Now we check if files, and we go again for SSD upload file, and this time we check size is more than max size, the constant we've defined in our config file. Then again, we're going to throw new exception. Let's copy this line here, throw new exception, and it's going to be validation file underscore size. And we're going to concatenate this message with of, and then concatenate helper bytes to size, and we pass this max size, which is basically a number of bytes we allow, and this is going to be displaying a nicely formatted message with MB, TB, or GB, or just bytes basically. So that's our validation. Let's move to the next video when we're going to continue with this file.